Cruise ships carry more secrets than most passengers will ever realize. Things the crew won't come right out and tell you. No matter if you've booked a sprawling luxury suite or a budget-friendly inside cabin, trouble could be waiting right behind your door. Some slip-ups can drain hundreds of dollars from your wallet, while others might actually get you thrown off the ship before your vacation is even over. We're talking steep fines, serious fire risks, safety violations, and in extreme cases, lifetime bans from ever sailing again. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on 17 common cabin mistakes that cruise passengers make all the time. Mistakes that can turn a dream trip into a disaster. And here's the kicker. Some of these rules are broken so often, you've probably done them yourself without even realizing it. Let's kick things off with a cruise cabin trap most people don't even think twice about: the minibar. On the surface, it looks harmless, an ice-cold soda waiting in the fridge, or a little bottle of whiskey practically begging you to open it. But here's the catch. Those items aren't part of your drink package. Not the sodas, not the snacks, not even the tiny bottles of liquor. And that can only mean one thing: surprise charges showing up on your bill, the kind nobody warns you about until it's too late. Cruise lines rely on this mistake. It's how they make easy money, and trust me, it works more often than you'd think. The smarter move? Skip the overpriced minibar altogether. Grab a snack at the buffet, order a cocktail at the pool bar, or even call up room service. Those options are included in your package, and they won't leave you with sticker shock. So, do yourself a favor, resist the temptation, avoid the hidden fees, and save that cash for something far better later in your trip. This one may seem small, but the savings are huge. Rule number 2 could not be clearer. No smoking in your cabin, ever. And when I say no, I mean absolutely nothing. No cigarettes, no cigars, no vapes, and yes, not even the legal at-home stuff. Cruise lines enforce a strict zero-tolerance policy when it comes to lighting up indoors or out on your balcony. Why so extreme? Because at sea, even the tiniest flame isn't just risky, it's catastrophic. Fires spread through a ship at terrifying speed, and one careless spark can put thousands of people in danger. That's why the rules are non-negotiable. The good news? Every ship has designated smoking areas. They're properly ventilated, they're safe, and they're there for a reason. If you absolutely have to smoke, that's where you go. Bottom line, don't test this rule. Light up in your cabin, and you're not just facing fines. You could be packing your bags and getting put off the ship at the very next port. All right, let's talk about respecting your little home at sea, your cruise ship cabin. I get it. The vacation vibes hit hard, and suddenly it feels like the perfect place to throw a party. But here's the truth. This isn't a college dorm room, and it definitely isn't your personal DIY project. That means no taping streamers across the walls, no hammering nails to hang your favorite photo, and absolutely no sticky hooks that peel the paint right off. Think about it. Would you ever try that in a hotel room? Of course not. So don't do it here either. Keep your cabin clean, simple, and classy. Let the crew handle the decorating. They've already designed the space to look inviting. And one last thing, hands off the fluffy robes. They're there for comfort, not souvenirs. Here's a classic cruise ship mistake that never seems to go away: pocketing the plush robes, the cozy slippers, or those ridiculously soft towels. I get it. They feel luxurious, like they belong in your suitcase. But trust me, they don't. Here's how it works. Most of the goodies in your cabin are meant to be enjoyed while you're on board. Think of them as part of the experience, not part of your luggage. Sure, the cruise line won't bat an eye if you toss a couple of travel-sized shampoos or soaps into your bag. But when it comes to the bigger stuff, robes, towels, slippers, that's a hard no. Besides, why weigh down your suitcase with a used bathrobe? You'll find far better keepsakes waiting for you in the ports of call. Souvenirs that actually remind you of the adventure, not of room service. Here's one cruise cabin mistake that can turn your relaxing getaway into chaos in seconds, turning your room into a wind tunnel. If you've booked a balcony cabin, pay attention. This tip might literally save you from a mid-cruise disaster. Most first-time cruisers don't realize what happens until it's too late. You crack open your balcony door while the cabin door is still wide open, and boom, the sudden air pressure shift whips through like a mini hurricane. Papers go flying, doors slam shut with a bang, and in some cases, people actually get hurt. The fix? Simple. Enjoy that ocean breeze, but never have both doors open at the same time. One stays closed always. Otherwise, you're not just inviting fresh air, you're inviting chaos. Rule number 6 is simple but deadly serious. Never sit, never stand, and don't even lean on your cruise balcony railing. It might feel harmless in the moment, but one slip is all it takes to turn a dream vacation into a nightmare headline. Yes, the railings look strong, but they're not designed to hold the weight of someone leaning, climbing, or perching on them. And let's be real, nobody on board wants to watch you dangling over the ocean like it's some kind of stunt show. If you're traveling with kids or teenagers, this rule matters even more. Always lock that balcony door when you're not in the room. It takes just one unsupervised moment for curiosity to turn dangerous. So here's the bottom line. Enjoy the view, breathe in the fresh sea air, take all the selfies you want. Just keep both feet planted safely on the deck. Now let's take a moment to talk about the real heroes of your cruise, the cabin attendants. These are the people working behind the scenes, day in and day out, to keep your stateroom spotless and welcoming. They are the backbone of your cruise experience, and without them, that sense of comfort and calm you feel the moment you step into your cabin just wouldn't exist. Their days start early, often before most passengers are awake, and stretch late into the night. They work incredibly long hours to make sure your cabin feels like a true retreat at sea. And here's the thing, acknowledging their effort doesn't take much. A simple smile, a friendly thank you, or even being mindful of the messes you leave behind can make their job a little easier and their day a little brighter. Tossing trash in the bin, gathering up dirty towels, or just keeping things tidy shows respect for the hard work they put in. And when it comes to showing appreciation, tipping matters. Gratuities aren't just a bonus. They're a significant part of how these crew members support themselves and their families back home. A little extra generosity on your part goes a long way, not just financially, but emotionally. It's a way of saying, I see your effort and I value it. So treat your cabin attendant the way you'd treat any hardworking professional, with courtesy, kindness, and respect. Do that, and you're not only making their day better, you're making your own cruise experience that much more rewarding. Because at the end of the day, a little kindness truly goes a long way. Here's a tip that sounds obvious, but you'd be amazed at how often people forget it: the magical little signs on your cabin door. Yes, I'm talking about the Do Not Disturb and Makeup Room signs. They may look simple, but trust me, they're the unsung heroes of cruise cabin life, and knowing when to use them can save you from some pretty awkward moments. Let's start with the Do Not Disturb sign. This is your shield. Hang it up when you want uninterrupted sleep, a quiet movie night, a romantic evening, or simply a little privacy. With that sign on your door, you don't have to worry about anyone knocking or barging in at the wrong time. Then there's the flip side, the makeup room sign. That one is like sending a polite signal to your cabin attendant. Put it on the handle before you head out for the day, and when you return, you'll walk into a refreshed space. Neatly made bed, fresh towels, and, if you're lucky, a towel animal waiting to greet you. It's such a small detail, but those little signs can make a big difference in how smooth and stress-free your cabin experience feels. All right, cruisers, let's talk about one of the easiest ways to avoid headaches before you even set foot on the ship: what not to pack. I get it. You want to look sharp for those formal nights and nail those Instagram-worthy shots, but some items just don't belong in your suitcase. At the very top of the no-go list? Irons and steamers. I know, wrinkled clothes are the enemy, but these gadgets are serious fire hazards at sea, and that's why they're strictly banned. Next up, surge-protected power strips and extension cords. They might seem harmless, something you'd use at home without a second thought, but on a cruise ship, they can actually overload the electrical system. Not exactly the kind of excitement you want mid-vacation. So here's the pro tip. Before you zip up that bag, take a moment to check your cruise line's prohibited items list. Trust me, it's better to leave a few things behind than to have them confiscated at the port. All right, cruisers, listen up. This next one is huge in today's world. Even if it's completely legal back home, CBD oil and other CBD products are a big red flag on most cruise ships. Here's why. Cruise lines don't just follow local laws. They operate under international maritime rules. And when it comes to CBD, most of them enforce a strict zero-tolerance policy. No exceptions. And the consequences? They're no joke. We're talking heavy fines, getting removed from the ship at the very next port, and in some cases, even a lifetime ban from that cruise line. Imagine ending your vacation not with a sunset on deck, but with your bags packed and security walking you off the gangway. I get it. It feels harsh, especially if you depend on CBD for medical reasons. But at the end of the day, it's their ship, their rules. And from their perspective, it's all about playing it safe. So here's the bottom line. Leave the CBD at home. It's simply not worth the risk. Let's talk about something every cruiser needs to keep in mind: protecting your valuables. When you're at sea, your cabin is your home away from home. And just like at home, you want to make sure the things that matter most stay safe. Now, I'm not saying cruise ships are crawling with theft. They're not. But with thousands of people on board and crew members constantly moving in and out of cabins, accidents can happen. Things get misplaced, or worse, picked up by mistake. That's where the cabin safe comes in. Think of it as your own miniature Fort Knox at sea. It may not look impressive, but that little metal box is the smartest place to keep your essentials locked away: passports, credit cards, jewelry, cash, and any important documents you really can't afford to lose. Anytime you're not using them, stash them in the safe and forget the worry. Here's a pro tip. Before you even leave home, snap a photo of your passport and other key documents. Then upload them to a secure cloud service like Google Drive or Dropbox. That way, even if the physical copies go missing, you've got backups at your fingertips from anywhere. So use that safe. It's there for a reason. Once your valuables are secure, you can stop stressing and fully enjoy your cruise, knowing your most important belongings are locked up tight. With that peace of mind, you're free to relax, explore, and soak up the adventure. All right, cruisers, here's a safety rule that's non-negotiable: no open flames in your cabin. Ever. That means no candles, no incense, no matches, no lighters, nothing. Cruise ships are engineered with safety at the top of the list, but fire is the one risk they can't afford to mess around with. You're on a floating city, and even the smallest flame can spark a chain reaction that escalates fast. So do yourself, and everyone else, a favor. Leave the candles and the cozy scents at home, and embrace the flame-free environment of your stateroom. Sure, your cabin might not smell like lavender or sandalwood, but the peace of mind and the safety of thousands of passengers around you is worth far more. All right, let's take a minute to talk about the unsung heroes of every cabin: the cruise ship toilets. These little guys work on a high-powered vacuum system that can whisk away, well, you know. But here's the catch. They're designed for toilet paper only. Nothing else. It might be tempting to toss in tissues, wipes, or anything extra, but don't do it. The system just isn't built for that, and one wrong flush can create a plumbing nightmare, not just for you, but for everyone sharing the same line of cabins. Imagine being that passenger who shuts down a whole section of bathrooms. Not fun. So, remember the golden rule of cruise toilets. Flush responsibly and keep it simple. Stick to toilet paper, and your cruise will stay smooth sailing in more ways than one. Let's shift gears and talk about cruise ship etiquette, specifically, how to be a good neighbor at sea. Remember, you're not sailing alone. You're sharing this floating city with thousands of people, and a little courtesy goes a long way. First up, noise. Keep the volume in check on your TV, music, and late-night conversations. Not everyone runs on the same schedule, and trust me, no one wants their beauty sleep interrupted by your 3 a.m. karaoke session. Next, let's talk about doors. Cruise cabin doors are heavy, and when they slam, the sound echoes down the hallway like a cannon. Closing your door gently takes 2 seconds, but it makes a world of difference for the people sleeping around you. By staying mindful of noise and showing just a little door etiquette, you'll earn the title of Best Cabin Neighbor and help everyone on your deck enjoy the peaceful vacation they came for. Let's talk about balcony privacy, or really, the lack of it. Your balcony may feel like your own private slice of paradise at sea, but the truth is, it's anything but private. Think about it. Your balcony can usually be seen from the decks above, from neighboring balconies, and in some cases, even from the water below. That means whatever you're doing out there isn't nearly as hidden as you think. So if you're planning a serious heart-to-heart, slipping into your swimsuit, or, let's just say, doing anything you'd rather not share with a few hundred strangers, do yourself a favor and take it inside. Because on a cruise ship, what happens on the balcony almost never stays on the balcony. All right, cruisers, let's tackle something nobody really wants to think about on vacation: laundry. I get it. The last thing you want to picture is folding shirts while you're supposed to be sipping margaritas. But on longer cruises, sometimes fresh clothes are a must. Now, yes, most ships do offer laundry services. The catch? They can be pricey, which is why some passengers get creative and try to air dry clothes in their cabin or drape them over the balcony railing. But here's the problem. Not only is that a safety hazard, it's also against the rules. And let's be honest, nobody wants to see your socks flapping in the sea breeze. So what's the smart move? Keep it simple. Use the ship's laundry services if you really need to, or better yet, pack light and handle the washing before and after your trip. That way, you can focus on enjoying your vacation instead of babysitting damp t-shirts. All right, folks, this last one is especially critical for families traveling with kids. When it comes to cruise ship safety, the golden rule is simple: never, ever leave children unattended in your cabin. And yes, that includes those just-a-minute moments when you think it's fine to step out onto the balcony. Cruise ships are massive, crowded, and full of distractions. It only takes a second for a child to wander off, press the wrong button, or get into a situation that could turn dangerous fast. Accidents don't wait. If you need to leave the room, even briefly, make sure another adult is supervising. And if that's not possible, many cruise lines offer babysitting services or supervised kids programs. Use them. They exist for your peace of mind. And there you have it, 17 things you should never do in your cruise ship cabin. It may sound like a lot to remember, but following these tips will save you from headaches, keep you safe, and help you enjoy the smooth, stress-free vacation you came for. The truth is, it all comes down to preparation, respect, and a little common sense. Treat your cabin, your fellow passengers, and the hard-working crew with care, and the high seas will treat you well in return. Now it's your turn. What's the wildest or strangest thing you've ever seen someone do in a cruise ship cabin? Drop your stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And until next time, happy sailing.